Huge day for Westmeath hurling, and a huge day for Raharney. It was a smashing game of hurling. You know what I mean? It was end to end. It was intensity. It probably had everything. It was one of the great games, I'd say.
Coming into the game, the Offaly champions were slight favourites coming into the game, but you had a great win in the county final. But your players really stood up and was counted today. 17 points in a day like this. I know Coolderry scored 14 as well. There was only 2 in it at half time. You were playing against the breeze at half time. Was it an advantage in the second half?
I wouldn't say it was an advantage in the second half because we didn't really get a whole lot of ball into our full forward line. At half time, one thing I said to the lads was that we were well in the game and probably should have been 2 points up and not 2 points down. And we turned around and we got the vital scores early in the second half. We kept them out to the other end. That was crucial.
John Shaw scored 4 in the first, 3 in the second. Brian Smith scored 4 great points, and Brendan McKeown, the other corner forward, and you had Cormac Byle popping up, and Brian Connaughton had 2 super points when you needed them.
Yeah, them scores are vital at stage. There's one thing you have to do. But I said to the lads, frees are vital in any game, and especially when you go up a level. Into Leinster, the Leinster Senior Championship, you have to take every opportunity, and frees are vital. And they were probably one of the main scores of different stages in the game.
This was a team performance, and right from goalkeeper Andrew Dial, I thought he was magnificent. 2 great saves. Conor Jordan at full back, I thought, and Connaughton stood tall as well as centre half back.
Yeah, I know definitely. Conor and Brian had great games. But we have to look at it. 15 lads started that game today, and the 2 lads that come in absolutely had massive. From every man from number 1 to number 13, 15. There was intensity and work rate and togetherness, and that's something you can't beat. And especially if you're coming off the back of a county final win, as we did against Clonkill. So the momentum is carrying forward, and you can't beat that sort of togetherness, and that's what stood up to us in the last few minutes.
You came up against a Coolderry outfit that had a lot of players that represent Offaly and still represent them, so it was a big game for Raharney. How did you prepare for it? We had our celebrations, we had a couple of nights, we enjoyed them, and we had to refocus, and we got the lads together last Saturday morning for a bit of a get together and a chat and refocus the minds, and I called in a favour on David Fitzgerald to come up and have a chat to them on Monday, and he was brilliant, took them for a session and had a chat, and man that's been there won them all, and it seemed to refocus the lads ready for today. And one thing was came Wednesday night, and there was another great session, Friday night great session, and we knew the momentum was with us going into this game, and we knew that if we could bring our A game and our intensity that we did bring to it, that we would come out on top. The club championship, a fantastic competition. A Westmeath club has never won the AIB Club Hurling Championship. It would be a real dream come true if Raharney were to bring this one off and win the club championship. You're in the semi-final, you're up against the Wexford champs at Oldert in 2 weeks' time. That's a game you'll really look forward to, and you have a home advantage, which is a plus as well.
Yeah, any game you have at home, like today, like the crowd were our extra man, I said there were Westmeath Gales, it wasn't just Raharney people, I said there was a lot of Westmeath Gales there, and they support us and pushing us on, and that was vital as well. They kind of added as an extra man to us, and anybody coming up here to Cusick Park, it's going to be, we know what we can do here, and we will have no fear going in against the Wexford crowd. I think they're favourites for the All-Ireland. They ran Ballyhale close last year in the went extra time, I think, and were only beaten by a point, so they're going to be no pushovers. We know what's ahead of us, and we'll give it everything we've got, and hopefully it'll be great, as you said, to progress and maybe make history in Leinster.
What was the pressure like in the sideline? You were hurling up to last year with Raharney. You were on the sideline today. You couldn't do a lot. You just saw balls going wrong or players making mistakes. What was it like?
Oh, it was intense. The one thing is, it was great to be, being the first year managing Raharney, and to be standing on the same line as Ken Hogan, who's won, on an Ireland under 21 this year and a championship with Coolderry, and was touted as maybe the successor to Liam Sheedy. So for me, that's what it's all about. It's stepping up and testing yourself against the likes of these managers and seeing how you get on. But I know it was the 15 players and the 2 lads we brought in and the panel we have that won that game there today.
A lot of young players, but a lot of players that have been round, like Brian Connaughton and John Shaw, great experienced players there, and the young fellas fitting in very well.
Yeah, that's one thing. You have to blend the youth with the experience, and that's one thing that happened today. We brought in Frank Boyle, and it was unlucky not to start today, and we brought him in, and he made a huge impact, and Joey Boyle came in there when Brendan McKeown, one of our stalwarts, 36 years of age, came off. He, after running his legs, ran himself into the ground, and Joey came in and added the extra few legs, and maybe made a few tackles that cut out ball going down to their forward line. So, it's all about a team, and it's all about a unit.